Hi, my name is Mark Hart. Welcome to my home, Chilliwack, BC, one of the most beautiful and friendly cities in Canada. Chilliwack is also one of the fastest growing cities in Canada, and a large part of this is coming from an influx of new Canadian families, each bringing a part of their cultural heritage to our community. In collaboration with the Chilliwack Local Immigration Partnership, this video series aims to explore the stories of these newcomer families. How? Through the universal language of food, by baking together and breaking bread together. As a professional baker and owner of Rise Baking Lab, a small baking school in Chilliwack, BC, I'll be spending time baking with these newcomers. We'll dive into their culinary heritage, but more than that, we'll uncover their personal journeys along the way. Our journey will culminate in a grand celebration where the stars of the series, the newcomers themselves, will cater the event, showcasing Chilliwack's growing cultural diversity. Join me in celebrating the rich and growing tapestry of cultures that make Chilliwack such a vibrant community. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Breaking Bread. Today's guest is a Spanish language and linguistics professor at the University of the Fraser Valley. She's also my business partner, Luis's mom, who you might remember from the very first episode. Please welcome on Maru de Luna.
Hi, Mark. Good to see you.
Okay, so let's start off with the main question is, what are we going to make today?
We're going to make tamales.
Okay.
So have you heard them? Have you had
I
them?
have never had a tamale. I don't know
Can't believe
anything
it.
about them. So
Okay.
all I know is about a little bit that Luis has been going on with today. So I
Of
need
course.
to know, what is it in the first place?
Well, tamales, it's a pre-Hispanic meal.
Okay.
So that's why it's so important for our culture. It's been there forever.
Mhm.
It's made up with corn dough.
Okay.
And corn, it's the basis of the food triangle, I would say, in what we know now as Mexico, because in the past it was Mesoamerican cultures. So the Aztecs, the Mayans, they will have these, they will have them for the rituals.
Okay.
And we have inherited that.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have it in our culture, but not only in Mexico, but also in Latin America. So there's a big variety of tamales.
Okay.
And the ones that we're going to do today are the ones that I learned from my mom.
Okay.
So it's like my
Excellent.
family. So
Excellent.
yeah.
And so these are something that you grew up eating, and are they local to where you're from, this version, or is it?
This version is local to my mom's region,
Okay.
which is in the center of Mexico City.
Yeah.
So as you may know, Mexico is a big country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's very diverse.
Yeah.
And therefore, in different areas, they will have their type of tamale, their own version of it.
Yeah.
So for this one, my mom is from a state called San Luis Potosí.
Okay.
So it's in the center of the Mexican Republic. And that's where they come from. So
Okay.
this version is like a small, very small, like fatty
Okay.
tamal.
Okay.
But if you go up north, it will be thin and slim. And if you go to the south, it will be wrapped not in corn husk, but in banana.
Oh, okay.
leaf.
I was just
So,
going to
yeah.
ask you if the thing that
Mhm.
ties them all together is the corn husk.
No.
But no, not necessarily.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
The thing that ties like all of them, it's the corn dough.
Okay. The dough is the thing, and
Yeah,
you wrap it
that
up
is-
and you steam it.
Yes, we
Okay.
steam it.
Okay. And so let's talk first about, there's a little bit more to talk about the ingredients and things in this one. So these are just a special kind of corn husks, or you?
No, it's just, as you can see, like here we have them
Mhm.
first without being hydrated.
Yeah.
So it's just dry. So corn husk.
Now, the first thing we should say, because not knowing much about that, and Luis was telling a story about his friend as well, is that you don't eat the corn husk.
No. Yeah, no. So like we're not
It's like,
cows.
gotta eat this corn
Yeah,
husk?
like cattle would eat, but not us, not at
So
all.
it's just used to cook it.
Yeah, but like just think about it. It's so like environmental
Yeah.
friendly.
Yeah.
It's organic. So you wrap on that your tamal, and you just like dispose it, but it's totally
Mm-hmm,
organic.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm. And so how do you have to prepare these? And you bought these, you get these just at a Latin American
yes,
grocery
like here
store
in
or?
Canada, you can find them only in Latin American stores.
Okay.
If you were in Mexico, then you just go to the market
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you'll find them. So here you go to a Latin American store and they come like bagged.
Okay.
So for me, totally new.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the version that I found in the markets, which
Yeah.
is like a big thing.
Mm.
But these kind of come like a little bit prepared. So when you take them out from that bag, you have to boil them
Okay.
because it has something acidic on it
Okay.
to preserve them.
To preserve them a little
you
bit.
just need to boil them and then drop that water and
So the flavor doesn't transfer
exactly
through
and
of
have
that.
this overnight like in water.
Okay.
Because obviously, as you can see here, they're dry, they're really stiff.
Mm-hmm,
So how
mm-hmm.
would you grab something on this?
Right.
So you need to have them just now kind
Okay.
of flexible.
Yeah, they're very soft now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we've got these, and then the main part of this recipe is the corn dough.
Exactly.
Which is made with maseca.
Yeah, and again, if you were in Mexico or any other part in Latin America, you just go, well, thinking of Mexico, to a tortilleria. So that's a place where they make tortillas.
Yeah.
And then you just buy your dough.
Okay.
Which is way better.
Just a chunk of dough. You buy it and you just bring it home,
So
and then you don't even have to do any of this.
tamales you want to do. So my recipe is 3 kilos. So I never thought of doing less than 3 kilos because that's the way it is.
3 kilos?
Yeah, the thing is that even if this is a meal that you will find anywhere and everywhere in Mexico, and it could be like the breakfast for so many people, and it's really rich, and so it will keep you going all day long. If you are doing it at home, it's for special occasions. Yeah. Because it takes you a while. Yeah. So it's like 3-4 hours.
So you might as well just
exactly.
Just make
so
a million
because
of
you're
them.
doing it for a special occasion, most of times it's
Okay.
for a fiesta.
Okay.
So then
okay.
you'll invite people. So you do at least 3 kilos.
Right.
So,
because you
that's
want.
it.
Okay. I get it. So that makes sense. So let's do that. Let's talk about the dough. Let's make the dough. And
Okay.
what do we have to do for this?
So again, if my mom were here, she will be like, "What are you using a blender?" Because everything will be beaten by hand.
Yes.
And she, was just so strict about that. So we have the flour, corn flour.
Corn flour, yeah.
Here because we have to make our corn dough.
And you need the right kind of. You can't just use cornmeal or anything. You need the right kind of corn flour, right?
So absolutely. Yeah. So this is the one. I think this is special for tamales.
Yeah.
Because there's another version that it's for tortillas or pupusas, if you know, like from El Salvador.
Is it coarser or something or?
It is nixtamalized, so it has a specific process. It doesn't mean that you cannot use the other ones. You can. Okay. But this one, it's better.
Okay.
Okay, so we just put that here, and then we need a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And I add a little bit of baking powder just to make them a little bit like fluffier.
Okay.
Again, my mother would say, "No, you don't need that."
No to that. Okay.
But I do need it, so I add it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you have that, then what you need to add now it's lard and broth. And you can do like a cheaper version of it with just water, which is okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the flavor.
Yeah, if we add broth, then it's going to be richer.
Okay.
And also the lard, I mean, you can use the vegetable one.
Yeah.
Or you can use pork lard.
Okay.
So then, this is a little heavy. So this has been, I'm just not sure that I can place it there.
Yeah. You can put it right on the table. That's okay. So we heat it up first because it has to be hot enough to kind of gelatinize it a little bit, or
It has, exactly. Like kind of help to cook it.
Cook it a little bit.
So we always do it with hot.
And you just
water or broth. And I just put the lard there so that it melts too. You can also just drop it in here, but then it would be like when you're doing a cake, like the butter and the flour.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I find out like if I put it together, it's easier to manage.
And is this just an eyeball for how much liquid you
No,
put in, or
no,
do you
no,
know?
no. Yeah,
Okay.
we have some proportions. So if you
Okay.
want the recipe,
Yeah,
we can give it to you.
we'll put the
Yeah.
recipe down in the
Exactly.
comments.
So now you see it's kind of crumbly.
Yes.
So we want to add more.
Okay.
More liquid. But I just wanted, I mean, even if I have the correct measurements, just want to make sure.
You want to start a little low just because
that
it
we
can
are
change.
okay.
Yeah.
With it. So
You don't want to
let's
mess up that much.
And then when it's kind of integrated, we're going to put it on the blender because you need to beat it like a lot.
Okay.
Because you need a lot of air.
Like you're whipping it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's aerated. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah. So,
and there's never any kind of spices or anything besides salt in this? It's just, that's just the way, the stock is the flavor.
It depends on the variety of the tamal, because there is the version from a state called Oaxaca and Veracruz where they have in the dough chili. So pepper.
Okay.
So it will depend. So I would say no, and then someone from another region listen to me and say,
oh yes,
no, that's not true. You can add this or that.
Okay.
And if you try one from Colombia or Venezuela, it's different.
Okay.
They put different things. So you can be really creative and come up with whatever you want to add to the dough. But this is kind of the basic.
Yeah. And I mean, you can, I mean, you're free to be a little creative too. I always think people will say, oh, I've made it the exact same way since my grandma in 1910. I'm like, what? Nobody's thought of anything better since in 100 years? Nobody's thought of an improvement on this recipe?
It's not just like 100 years. I mean, just go back in time.
Thousands.
It's been,
people
like
making
centuries.
it forever. Yeah.
So
So then people have a very specific.
Back in time, maybe it was like very different.
Somebody got it down pretty good. Okay.
So I think I'm not gonna add more. Now we're just gonna beat it, but put it on the blender.
Okay.
So maybe I need a little help just to kind of put this thing
get
there.
This on there.
Because I have a different one at home.
Yeah, this one is a little bit different. That's every time we have classes we need. They're a little bit different than the home ones. Okay. Here we go. And how fast do we go here? I guess you want to go pretty slow at the beginning because it's hot.
So I kind of integrated a little. If it was only the flour, then you go really slow.
Yeah.
But I think that we can go faster.
And I suppose it'll cool a little bit as we whip it here.
It will.
All right.
Yeah, and indeed I see it kind of very soft. I was looking for something denser, but let's see.
Yeah.
Let's leave it a little bit. This is very powerful.
Yeah, it really goes.
Yeah.
So, first of all, just tell me where you're from.
I am from Mexico City.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born there.
Okay, and have you lived multiple places in Mexico?
Yes. Well, first, my parents, they are from different places. So they're both from the same state, San Luis Potosí. But then my dad moved to the north. That's where they met. And then my sister was born there in Monterrey, which is north. And then they moved to Mexico City. So they do a stop somewhere else. Then they went to Mexico City, then to Puebla.
Okay.
And then in Puebla, that's where I went to high school, like university. I met Ernesto, got married.
Okay. Yeah. And Puebla is like not very far from Mexico City, is it?
No, it's really close.
Okay.
It's just like, sometimes I say just going to Vancouver.
Okay.
The thing there is
the Chilliwack of Mexico City.
Well, yes and no. Because because there's
big,
mountains
though, isn't
around.
It?
We have volcanoes surrounding us, 3 volcanoes.
Okay.
Which is not that common. One is active.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, really. And then it's really big.
Yeah.
It's a really big city.
Yeah. How many people live there?
Like in Puebla and the surrounding areas, it has to be like around 2-3 million. I really don't know nowadays the number, but it's big.
A zillion times bigger than Chilliwack.
Yeah. Exactly.
Speaking of Chilliwack, though, let's, what brought you specifically here to Chilliwack?
It was the job.
Yeah.
I mean, I came to the University of the Fraser Valley because there was an open position. At the time that I applied, I was living in Hong Kong, working at the university, Hong Kong University. So then I wanted to come back. That was during the pandemic.
Okay.
So the beginning of the pandemic for here, but I was in Hong Kong. So there was like, since months ago, the pandemic was happening, like China, Hong Kong. So I wanted to come back.
Politically, there was a lot
Politically,
happening.
really complicated situation. So there were like many reasons why I wanted to come back. I mean, even if I loved Hong Kong, I loved my job over there. And life there pretty nice, but so many buts. Family was here. Yeah, and then all these things like politically wise, it was complicated, and the pandemic that was the one that it's like pushed me away from there. Like, go leave this place. And it was not because there could have been handled bad or anything. Not at all. It was just because I was by myself there.
And the university was nice, and
amazing. Like
career-wise, it was fine, but there was too many
really,
other factors.
Really good. I mean, good opportunities. I think that I would still be there if I would have decided to stay in Hong Kong. And many good opportunities. And while you live over there, then you have a lot of mobility, and you can begin traveling to places that you would never, because you're so far away.
To a whole nother part
and
of
also
the world.
you get a different perspective of the world, because I never thought of that. Like, you're here and we are kind of Western or Eurocentristic. And over there, sometimes when you talk about something that for you, it's like, oh, how do you don't know that? I don't know, the Beatles, Beyonce, and things like that. They're like, why should I care?
Because they're their own center,
exactly.
their own
and
world.
Then they ask you, like, do you know this or that artist or anything? And you're like, no, exactly.
Yeah. So is this looking pretty close now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once we get this going, we're going to put more than this. We're going to put this in the husk. And then what else are we going to put in the husk?
We're going to put mole.
So
okay. The filling could be so many different things.
Right. And every different place that you are is going to have a different filling to put in.
And usually, like, when you go, there are places where they just sell tamales. So either just in the street, like, because it's so easy to sell, I mean, and to move around, or just like a little store. You will find different flavors. You will never just go for one. I mean, you can have mole, and you can have just like poblano peppers with cheese, or, I mean, many different fillings. So and even sweet ones.
And now these take, after we make them, when we put them together, though, these take a bit of time because you have to then steam them. So how long do they steam for?
Like for 2 hours. I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours.
So when you're if you're buying them on the street, it's not like somebody's whipping it together and making it for you.
No, they've been working.
They're already
just
they've been
like
working.
You with the bread.
Yeah.
Like you have it ready really early in the morning, but who was working on that? Like, when were you working on that? It's just exactly the same. They will be prepping everything like from a day ahead, most likely.
And then they'll just have them steaming as they go.
And then there's like these big places, so they have like hundreds, maybe thousands. And they just give it to people so that they can go in their bicycles. And sell them everywhere. So
they have like bicycle tamale carts.
Exactly. And they just go by, and if you're at home or you're at school or at your job, you will just listen someone yelling tamales.
Do they have little bells or anything?
They have how do you say it? Megaphone?
A megaphone.
A megaphone.
Oh, that's even better.
A megaphone. Yeah. It's amazing. So I remember just being in high school and waiting for the guy to come. Like, you will know, like, around what time. And as soon as you listen tamales, you
everybody leaves school?
Yeah. Even the teachers would say, like, oh, you're getting tamales, get me two.
That's incredible.
And it's very cheap.
Yeah.
It's very, very cheap. So it's one of the good things. It's really good because of the ingredients that it has. So it's really good for you. It's nutritious, and it's cheap. So what else you want?
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, let's see what we got to do next.
Okay, so let's work with this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is
This
nice.
is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna put inside. So that's the filling.
Okay.
So this is mole,
Okay.
and
Maybe
this,
just tell a little bit about what that is, because I think a lot of people know, have heard of it, but might not know
yeah, I
exactly
think
what
that
it is.
most people that have heard of it, what they know is that there's chocolate somewhere there,
Yes.
which
Yes.
seems really weird,
hmm
but it's not milk chocolate or
Okay.
chocolate milk. How do you say it? The other
Milk
way
chocolate.
around.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like
So it's just like a cow.
yeah. Okay. Like a
Yeah,
raw um
and it
just yeah, with some sugar still though.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it has some sort of sugar in it.
Okay.
But what we do is we buy a paste.
Yeah.
So here you can find it just like this. So Freshco, like some supermarkets will carry on and
Yeah.
carry this. If you go to a Latin American store, you probably find some other brands.
Okay.
I mean, this is very common in Mexico. Is popular too, but there's like
But you would
better.
have tons of selection of what kind
Exactly.
of, and there's what I understand is there's a lot of ingredients
A
in
lot
it.
of ingredients.
So you
It's
don't.
a combination of many, many ingredients, like especially many dry peppers.
Okay.
So, or chile.
Yeah.
And then it has sesame, it has chocolate, it has some of them have peanuts. If there's some, we have to double check that. If
Okay.
there's some
Yeah.
allergies.
Yeah.
And it will vary a lot
Yeah.
because as tamales, there's a big variety of moles
Yes.
along Mexico.
Okay. And elsewhere throughout Latin America as well, or is it just more of a Mexican
No, mole
thing?
is more like a Mexican
Oh,
thing.
okay. Cool.
But I always say, like, when I go and have Indian food, I
Yeah.
say like they have their moles
Yeah.
because it's like a rich sauce
Yeah.
with chicken or cheese or something. So for me, it's like, oh, that's a mole. Because what actually mole is a word from the Aztecs, so it's Nahuatl, and it means sauce.
Okay.
That's the meaning.
It's sauce. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So everybody
it's
has a different
muli,
sauce.
and it means sauce.
Okay. And then so you would say that people don't very often just make their
No,
sauce from
because
scratch.
it's so many ingredients
yeah.
to it that it's complicated. It will take you a long, long time. I remember my grandma and my aunt that will do their own mole, and
Yeah.
it takes you like a whole day to do
Okay.
that. And then we'll use metate, which I don't even know how it's called in English.
Okay.
But it's like a mortar, like a big mortar.
Oh, yeah.
With a pedestal.
Yeah.
That you do. So you will
grind
ground
them
your
up.
peppers, you ground everything. It has tortilla. It has also there like a toasted
Really?
tortilla. Yeah,
Inside there?
inside. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
lot of things. So they will do that, and then you will have that paste.
Yeah.
That now it's so convenient. You just go really, really good ones in a market, but also the
Yeah.
commercial ones, they are okay.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And then you've added some chicken to it as well.
I added chicken. The most typical one in Mexico will be with turkey.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can kind of do it vegetarian too. Just
Yeah.
don't add any
Yeah.
protein like that or change the protein. Yeah.
All right, let's figure this out then. Let's see how to do it.
Okay. So as I mentioned, you have the corn husks.
Yeah.
Like you boil them, then you change the water, then you leave it all night there.
Okay.
Standing there, like
So now
sitting there. So now they are soft. So compared to these,
Yeah.
crunchy, well, totally different.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do,
grab one of these two.
it's exactly. So sometimes they're a little broken. So we'll find like
Okay,
the
good.
best version of it. So we want them to be not that wet.
Okay.
So what I normally do, it's just a strainer and take off all the water.
Okay, of all of them. Okay.
Because you want these.
They're gonna be a little wet.
Exactly.
Let me just grab another bowl and then we'll just drain these out.
Exactly. Because if not, you're gonna be working on them and it's gonna be so
just dripping everywhere.
Yeah, dripping everywhere.
Okay,
and then you don't want the dough to be that wet.
Yeah.
So ideally, we will put it on a strainer
and let them drain for a little while.
Yeah, then let them drain for a little bit and then just work with them.
Okay.
So you want them not soaked, just wet.
Just wet. So
Yeah.
you're going to soak them
That you can
and then
work with
drain
it.
them out. Okay, now we've got a nice
There you go, Mark.
bowl. So let me grab this one.
Yeah. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, let's move this around. So
And we have a scoop
yep.
here.
We're gonna be very precise. Something that at home, well, maybe not be that
Just
precise.
use a spoon.
Exactly. So
Although the scoops are very handy. Okay, you show me
we'll
one
use
first.
one. So we put it somewhere here.
Okay.
Like kind of in the middle. And with a spoon, I will spread it a little bit.
Okay.
Because remember, have you seen a tamal?
No. Well, Luis showed me one just in the husk, but I haven't actually seen this.
Okay, so that's
sad that I've never seen a tamale, but
well, now you will be an expert.
Now I'll be an expert.
So you put the filling.
Yeah.
You don't want to be kind of miserable and just like put a tiny piece of it, but you don't want
stingy.
too much. Stingy. Okay, not that much because it's also gonna be out.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of it.
Oh, I see. So now it's gonna get totally surrounded in the.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we kind of help a little bit with it.
Okay.
So now it's grabbed. I'll just push it a little bit to the top.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fold it here and on the top. And
that looks beautiful.
Yeah. And then we need another
bowl. Yeah. And
to begin working on them. So we steam them. So at the end,
so you'd normally be putting these in the bowl of a steamer.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's a way to put it there, so it has to be kind of standing.
So that it doesn't come unwrapped.
Yeah.
Okay. And they all kind of, we're going to pile them all around here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me try one and see how you can judge me. See how well I do.
Okay.
So you put this in your hand.
Yep.
I'm going to get a scoop of this. This is definitely the most complicated thing that we've done on the show here. It's good.
And then you're going to realize why we usually go and buy our
buy them. Okay, now
and unless it's a big event, you do your own.
Okay. The husk is sliding all over my hand. You gotta get the grip.
Yep.
Okay. Is this close? This is the worst. I'm terrible here. Wow. Okay.
Okay. It's the first one.
It's my very first tamale. I gotta be generous with myself here. Okay. Is that okay? Or you gotta be a little far. It's okay.
It's okay. We can work with it.
It looks bad.
Tamales are really I would say kind with you.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have the dough there, the filling.
Yeah.
And
it'll be okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so now I'm gonna take a little spoonful.
They're not meant to be like, perfect.
Okay, they're rustic. This one's gonna be rustic.
They are rustic, absolutely.
Particular. Oh, and I think now I just was like too much filling here.
If we were going to sell them, maybe not that rustic.
Not this rustic, but a little rustic.
For
it could be
at home. That's good.
And then when I kind of put it together here like this,
Yep.
get those sides met together.
In a way.
In a way. You're very diplomatic. That's very good.
Yes.
Okay.
So you kind of push it a little bit.
Push it right underneath.
Yeah.
Okay. And then fold it up.
Yeah.
And then I get it up here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see.
It's my seam got to be at the back.
That's good. It was
okay.
Yep.
And that's enough. And then it goes forward here.
Yep.
And then what? This comes down.
Exactly.
Do I have to squish this part down, or I just kind of?
Let's see how it feels. Yeah, you're doing well.
Yeah.
You're doing right.
Oh, you're such a good.
So let me see.
Supportive teacher.
It feels nice. Look at it. We can kind of form it a little bit if we need.
Okay.
Put it
there. Now let's do this, and then we have a good chance to chat a little bit more. So, one question I wanted to ask, as I know that you moved here with young kids,
yes.
And that must have been made the decision a lot more difficult to make, moving with your whole family. I mean, both logistically, because that would be harder, but also because they'd have to move across the world somewhere new as well.
So I think that we never thought, like when we were in Mexico making the decision to come to Canada, that, oh, this is going to be very difficult. I
Yeah.
think we were younger, a little bit naive, probably
Right.
excited about the adventure and the opportunities that will come.
Yeah.
So we were kind of excited of
Okay,
doing this.
yeah.
So it took us a while. We first went to Montreal
Yeah.
for almost 8 months, 8, 9 months. We were there. We wanted to apply through Quebec.
Right.
So I already knew French, but Ernesto needed to learn French
Yeah.
because he was going to apply because of his profession. He's a
Okay.
chemical engineer.
Yeah.
The chances were that with him applying, we will get the permanent residency while I studied communication sciences. So it was like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
not in need or anything like that.
Yeah.
So then we really were strategic. We planned a lot, and we were lucky enough to have the means to do that and the support from our family.
Right.
We didn't have like a lot of money, but we decided, like, instead of investing in a business or I don't know, whatever you will be thinking, this was the invest that we were gonna do on the future.
In your future. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we did. So the boys were 4 and 5 when we went to Montreal.
Okay.
So they were super excited. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
And then we were always working, both of us, all the time. We used to have a business,
Yeah.
and it was very demanding. And as you know, how businesses are.
Yes,
So
I've
then,
learned that.
yeah, we had a lot of help in Mexico because things are different there. So we will have people that can help us at home. And
Yeah.
also, I was lucky enough to have my mom that was always there with the boys and
Right.
whenever I was working. So going to Montreal, Ernesto was studying at the beginning. He went to study, and then I did, like, during the second part of the period that we were there. So for the very first time, I'm with my kids like full time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
So
was
that was
really
nice.
nice.
And
It was really nice.
and what did you think when you moved to Montreal? Like, just what was your impressions of coming here? And
Like
was it
Montreal, it's like, I love it.
you loved it? So it was
Yeah, I
it
really,
was
really love it. It's Latin origins too.
yeah.
So it felt like home. So
Okay.
there's a couple of places we've moved a lot that have felt that like home, and it's
Yeah.
only basically Montreal and Hong Kong.
Okay.
There's something there that it just felt like, oh, I kind of know this place, even if I have never been here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Montreal was just like that.
Feels like home
It
for
feels
some
like
reason.
home.
Yeah.
It is a culture, like people kiss and hug.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
important for my
Where's all the
culture.
kissing and hugging?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They even kiss twice. We only kiss once.
Okay, so they're double. They're double.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is great. They hug. I love this. And very welcoming.
Yeah.
Even if it's a big city,
Yeah.
very welcoming. And yeah, so it was really nice. Public transportation, amazing.
Yes.
This is the first time we don't need a car in like so many years, and you
Yeah.
can get everywhere. So yeah, we love it. So we were still like, yes, this is what we want to do. Canada is amazing. We spent the winter there.
Yeah.
And
you're
a
okay
lot
with
of
that? It's cold.
It's cold and a lot of snow, but we used to live just like a block from the subway station.
You okay? So yeah,
that was beautiful. So that was it. Then we went back to Mexico. Then all the paperwork, which
Yeah.
is complicated and costly. It took
Yeah.
us 2 years.
yeah. I have a question here.
Yeah.
There's a side with the seam. Do I fold up on the side with the seam, or do I fold up on the side without the seam, or does it matter?
With the sim.
So I fold the seam into
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Good question, Mark.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I did better on this one a little bit.
I
I think
so.
I got the grasp of the husk a little better.
Yeah,
Mine's a
you
little
see?
too short though now.
And it has to be like a little
It's a little
tight. Short doesn't matter.
It's okay.
Short is perfect. I'm just saying, like, look at me, I'm short. So this is perfect. They don't have to be the same size. They
Yeah.
don't have to be,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
So this is like short and party. This is
that one's
perfect.
very nice. That was a little
Yeah.
nicer than mine, I'll
Okay.
say. Okay. Now, you went from can you tell me a little bit, you were only in Montreal for a little while and then you were back in Mexico?
Back to Mexico.
Okay.
And then in Mexico, we began the paperwork. As I said, like anyone that has been through that process, know it's intense.
Yeah.
And it took us a while. And sometimes it was because of us. We didn't have the money to pay for this or that
Right,
or
'cause
that
you
it's
need
required.
a certain amount of money
Mhm.
to do it. And you
Mhm.
came back because you had to go back to Mexico to apply
Yeah,
for
we
permanent
tried
residency?
to do it from Montreal because we're like, oh, we love it.
Yeah.
I think we could do this. Let's try doing it here. And then they they, they say like, no,
No, you
go
had to
back
go
to your
back
country
home.
and do
Okay.
this all from there. And then that's what we did. We went
Okay.
back to Mexico, and it was difficult.
Was that what did the kids think about that going back? Was that
I mean,
difficult for them or
they were very young, but at
Yeah.
the same time, that's when I realized that even if they were only 4 and 5, they've already pay attention to everything.
Yeah, you're saying they noticed a lot of
They
differences when they
notice
moved
the
back.
differences. Specifically, they notice like the disparity in
Yeah.
income, and
Yeah.
they also realize like how different. I don't think they knew at the moment like, oh, Mexico is not safe.
Yeah.
But
Oh boy,
Ernie
it's
kept
terrible.
asking like, why every house in Mexico has this kind of stick. So it was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And
Yeah.
then he's kind of showing me that in the windows we have the
Like
protection.
security bars or
Exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
And then I thought like, how do you explain like
Yeah.
to your kid that it's 5 years old that it's because it's not safe
It's
here?
not safe to live there. Yeah.
I mean, it is safe and it is not, because even if you go to Mexico nowadays, you will not feel like, oh, something's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
This is not only Mexico, this is the global south.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
global south, and maybe the US will
Yeah.
be somehow like that. I don't
Right.
know. You need protection because, yeah, there's poverty.
Yeah.
There's more poverty than here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
things can happen. So then you protect yourself. You live in gated communities, which when you tell that to a Canadian, they will be telling you like, oh, I'm sorry. And we're like, no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. So they began realizing that. Luis began making some comments like, why there are so many poor people, why this town looks so old.
Yeah.
Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
So then I realized like I got so used to a place where I was born
Yeah.
that I was not seeing what they, just being a couple of months in Montreal and going back,
And this
realized.
just reinforced, I guess, a little
Yeah,
bit
so
that you
when Luis
really
was
wanted
saying
to
like,
move.
oh, why is this so old? It was just like people are not painting their houses
Yeah.
all the time. So
Yeah.
then it looks like, old,
Yeah.
faded out. So I'm like, oh, that's what you mean. And then, I mean, yes, it's old, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's just because you cannot keep up with the maintenance that it's
Yeah.
needed
Yeah.
and things like that. And I was very surprised and kind of shocked also that, oh, they see.
Did you yourself maybe notice it a little bit more coming back after spending that much time abroad, or it was mostly just through them that you
No,
noticed
it was
it?
through their eyes.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing things with your kids, that
Yeah.
you see things that you never saw.
I guess.
Yeah, you kind of learn with them and appreciate things in different ways. So that
Well, I
was
guess
one
even
of the
moving to a new
things.
place with your kids is a similar thing. I mean, that's a big part of your experience coming here. Is everything, like with the kids being in school and with that'd be a big part of your meeting people and everything is a
Mhm.
big part. And so after you were in Mexico again,
Mhm.
you eventually did get your paperwork
Yeah.
sorted out, and then you tell me about where you ended up.
Yeah, so when we went back to Mexico, I
Yeah.
began studying my master's degree.
Okay.
So I have a master's degree in applied linguistics because I knew that if we were gonna come to Canada, I wanted to teach Spanish.
Okay.
So then I said, well, let's do this. So I studied that, and when I was already like a year within my studies,
Mhm.
the permanent resident, the papers arrived, and
Okay.
we're like, oh, so happy because we're coming. But I'm like, oh, I can't continue studying because I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
So I went to the university, and kind of magic happened, and there was this opportunity to come to either the US or Canada. So
Mhm.
obviously applying to a scholarship.
Yeah.
I got all the support from my professors over there.
Mhm.
I applied. I got it.
Yeah.
And then we went to Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. And I love the stories that Louise tells
Exactly.
about going to
So
Winnipeg.
going to Winnipeg, I mean, we saw so many videos.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. They kept talking about this is the place in Canada that gets the most sunlight in the year, and we
They
are
didn't
like,
tell you the other part.
this is weird.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
but sounds great.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And they say it's called the community. Wow, they're
Yeah.
amazing. Like people in Manitoba, they say friendly Manitoba for a reason. They
Yeah.
are actually really friendly. Like just from knowing people for a couple of months, they will
Mhm.
call us and say, we're gonna go and pick up the kids
Yeah.
because it's too cold. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So yeah, the community over there was amazing. Just from school, we met some Mexicans,
Yeah.
Mexicans that went there too, and yeah.
And so you went there and finished your degree there?
I finished my degree. So my degree is from Mexico, but I was an exchange student there.
Okay.
So I have always said like they pay me to study because that was
Mhm.
actually what happened. They pay me to study, and I took advantage of NAFTA. Now it's
Right.
called in a different way, but yeah.
I think now it's called nothing. I don't know. I think it's gone. I don't know.
Absolutely, now it's
Something.
nothing. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called anymore. It's
And it was great in that way. So I did my last year over there
okay.
at the University of Manitoba. Very interesting, so different, the system, and I learned a lot. And then my research, I did it there too with the Mexican families that I met.
Yes.
And then when I was almost going to finish the master's degree, I realized that in Canada, I mean, it's difficult to teach at the university level if you don't have a PhD.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
also with my area of study, linguistics,
Yeah.
it's difficult to do something if you don't have a PhD. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's why we moved to London, Ontario.
Yeah.
And it's also, we were looking for an opportunity to move from Winnipeg. I mean, it was very difficult to live there because of the winter. And
Yeah.
that's why when you understand, like when the system
Yeah.
that for the permanent residency, it's a point system. One of the things that they count it's spending a winter here.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
you got to
yeah,
make it through the
we
winter.
had it like a check in
Yeah.
Montreal, like we
Yeah,
did
you
that,
had an idea of it.
but it's
Not-
not even close to
not
a
the same.
winter in Montreal like
Yeah.
the ones in Winnipeg. So don't get me wrong, I really like the people.
Yeah.
Even Winnipeg,
You don't have to
I mean,
explain to me about winter. It's no good.
the
Yeah, I
most
don't-
beautiful skies in the world
Yeah.
are there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The winter.
kicked us out
Yeah.
from Winnipeg, and we went to London. I studied there my PhD. Ernesto has that mobility and has supported me
Yeah.
100%. Without him, I could have never done this.
Yeah.
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 And
No,
the
it takes
support of-
support for sure to get
the
that
family.
level.
And
Yeah.
the support of my boys, because they also were there sitting with me in a class, either studying or teaching.
Yeah.
They will be there when they had a PD day or
Yeah.
things like that. So they always supported me too.
Yeah. Well,
And yeah, I did my PhD over there. And then I learned that I will need to move again.
Yeah. And you've since been to, you said Hong Kong.
Yeah, from there I went to the US. I got a position in a private university close to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
To Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. And then from there, because it was very complicated, the migratory process to the US is
Yeah.
nothing like Canada.
Okay.
I have to be honest, and it's not just because I live here,
Yeah.
but it is real. Like in the US, the migration system and has not changed like in for forever.
Yeah.
So they are expecting that someone in the family, like either mom or dad,
Yeah.
will not work.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
so it was like planned at that time when moms will stay at home.
Yeah.
So then it was not working for us, and that's why I came back. My family never went with me there because we were kind of planning things in a way that they will follow me
Yeah.
as soon as we have like more certainty.
Yeah.
And when we realize that it's gonna be difficult, then I came back.
Yeah. And then now, I mean, you through all these different jobs and positions, you ended up here in the University of the Fraser Valley.
No,
No.
From there, from the US, I went to Waterloo.
Yes.
So I worked at Wilfrid Laurier University
okay.
over there.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went to Hong Kong. And from Hong Kong,
Then you ended up
now
here.
we got here.
So you've lived many places in Canada.
Yes.
And is Chilliwack the best? I asked you straight up.
Oh, straight up, I love it.
Yeah. Maybe Montreal's pretty
Montreal
good too,
is
though.
different.
Yeah, it's a
but
different
you
thing.
know, Montreal, it's like the city vibe.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I feel sometimes I miss. But I mean,
yeah,
you know, you are from Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah. And now let's just go back to this for a second here.
Okay.
What does it look like? You know, we the show's Breaking Bread, and here's the question. But I'm going to ask it a little more in particular to this. For sitting down for you know, a meal of these, what does it look like sitting down and enjoying these together? You know, for you, you said it's, you know, have a fiesta, or you know, what is it like? Just explain to me a little bit what sitting down and enjoying these is like, and
like
what it
here
means.
In Canada,
or
wherever.
either way, like just what it currently is for you.
Well,
when you
in
do
the
this,
Hispanic world, food, it's very important.
Yes.
So then and family, it's very important. And this goes like to get together.
Yeah.
Like family, food, reunions.
Yeah.
That's something that goes hand in hand. So it doesn't matter that it's in Mexico or that it's here. If you're doing tamales, it means gathering. Yeah. It means family.
Yes.
It means like it's part of our culture that we're gonna maybe cook together.
Yeah.
Obviously eat together. And then what we do, we have a word that you don't have in English, that it's called sobremesa.
Okay.
So sobremesa, it's that time that you spend sitting at the table after you finish your meal, but you don't move from there. You stay there, just
continue the
chatting
conversation
and laughing and continue the conversation and continue eating maybe a little bit more. And that's part of our culture. It's not only Mexico; it's the Hispanic world.
Yes.
And we love that.
And you guys have a bit of a community here, mixed. And Luis is often telling me you're going out with some other community that you found here.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I would say about Canada, which it's a country that I love, we've been here for almost 20 years, is that also because we've moved a lot.
Yeah.
It's been difficult to have like a group of Canadian friends.
Yes.
I mean, we have some friends here, there, and over there, but now that we're here, we arrived during the pandemic. So that was added difficulty to everything. However, obviously, you're going to try to find always your people.
Yeah.
So our ethnic community, your ethnic background helps you, language puts you together.
Yeah.
So if you know someone or have met someone, most probably they will like bring you in within their group. So this group of friends comes from Ernesto's like childhood friend.
Yeah.
That lives in Vancouver, near Vancouver, and he knows someone else from Colombia, someone else from Peru, someone else.
Yeah.
You know, the Hispanic world is really big. There's
Yeah,
21
and I
countries
feel
that we
like
speak Spanish. So
every time I'm with Luis, it's like he's a Spanish magnet. It's just like the people pop out everywhere speaking Spanish. They, you know, as soon as they, you know, see him or get a sense that somebody speaks Spanish, then
of course,
it's it's off you go with that.
Maybe it would be the same if you go to Mexico and then you just
found
hear the language, your language, and you're like,
yeah,
immediately like, hey, who's speaking? In our case, is like, who's speaking Spanish? Hey, hello. Yeah.
Okay, so we've nailed off quite a few of these, and I actually got the last one I made. I was actually happy with. So now so after this part, you put them in the steamer, and then how do you cook them?
You put it in the steamer. You put a coin.
In the Luis had a coin going, and it goes like
exactly, because when you don't listen to the coin anymore, it's because the water's
gone.
Has gone. So then you need to add more water. So that's really interesting. I love that because it's just like,
it was very cool.
Yeah.
And then how do you know when they're done?
I mean, you need maybe like, it depends, an hour and a half, and even more.
Yeah.
You just have to pick on them.
Yeah.
And see if they come out like off the husk.
Like they don't stick to the husk anymore. You open it up and it's a package in there.
It's a package. Yeah, it's a tamal in there. Yeah.
And
and try to finish this one and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, I stole your spoon. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. Here. I have this other one.
So we have already made a few of them so that we didn't have to wait an hour and a half on the show. That would be a lot of conversation. So let's finish that one up, and then we'll bring out the tray of finished ones.
So it's just practice.
Beautiful. Yes. Excellent.
It's not that I do this all the time. But
let me go grab the ones that we've already made.
I told my students that we were going to do tamales. I didn't tell them why, but I said like, maybe you'll get one. And they're like so excited.
Okay. So, let's go grab the tamales that are already ready, and we'll take a look and see.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. Ta-da!
Okay, the magic of TV. We have some.
Yeah. So we put a cloth on top just to keep that steam there.
Keep the steam in. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. And I can smell it immediately. Wow. The smell really changes after they've been baked, eh? You can. Yeah. Okay. That's amazing.
I mean, it seems like just a couple of ingredients, but all together.
And can we pop one open here?
Of course. Do you want to do it?
Okay, I'll give it. Oh, and it's all firm again now.
Yeah.
It's no longer a paste.
It's cooked.
And what do? You just open it up and eat it?
You open it.
Oh, and it's got the shape of the shape of the husk. That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Okay, well, why don't you grab one too?
Normally we'll put it on a plate.
On a plate. But you got the plate right here.
I know. I mean, if you were in the streets, like eating one, you have everything
perfect
you need.
Natural wrapper. Now,
I know super environmental.
I know that you made this one because it's actually all encased in there. But yeah, excellent. Yeah. All right. And
so the filling is
give it a try.
Right there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been fantastic. Cheers. Yeah.